Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. We've got some new Kingdom Death models that we are going to take a look at today. In particular, we have the Ambitionism Survivors, and you'll notice there are two of them included, so that's always nice to see. Let's get on with it. First thing you'll notice is we've got the nicer, newer packaging with the tissue paper backing already in the package. I can remember when we didn't even have tissue paper. Ooh. We've got one bag, two bags, two base. Number 35, first run collector's edition. Okay. We've got the art cards. We've got the big piece that looks really familiar, and I'm not sure why. Was it in one of the booklets, maybe? It looks really familiar to me. But everything looks familiar to me, so I can't remember anything as it is. Let's take a look at what we're getting ourselves into. These are the photo resin models, but these days, I mean, the photo resin stuff has come a long ways since it first started. Oh, we got some support sticking in there still. That's okay. I've mentioned many times I am a sucker for weapons attached to backs, so I think that was what initially got my eyes on these models, was that fact. That is a big honkin' sword. Kudos to you, sir, for such a wonderfully nice sword. What's in here? Somebody's base topper. Can I get it out of the bag without breaking it? Then again, how did they get it in the bag without breaking it? This is more challenge than it's worth. Good luck to all you out there. Okay, I could have just cut the bag, I guess, but that would have made too much sense. Lots of hands. Well, it is a Kingdom Death model, so no surprise there. A little bit of cleanup necessary, not a big deal. What's in bag 2? Our survivors themselves. This bag's got a good heft to it, I gotta say that. Just rip the bag, it's not like I need it. Okay, similar in that we've got hands all over, a nice rocky outcropping. I got a cut on my hand, where did that happen? When did that happen would be a better question. Ooh, you came to my house with all your fingers intact. That is impressive, and more fingers. An eyeless face is on your shoulder pads. Okay. Hand with a lantern. I feel like there's a lot more supports on these particular figures than usual. I was going to try to show you guys that face there I was talking about. There you go. Now you can see it. Looks like a monkey. There's somebody with some very prodigious facial hair. And come on, there you go. So here is our female survivor. You'll notice she is pretty well clothed for a Kingdom Death model. Even more, she's pretty well armored. That's always a plus. Despite being a 3D print, for all that entails, these days the resin quality of these, I gotta say, is pretty much up there with a lot of the earlier actual cast resin models that we got for Kingdom Death. I have not had any issues. Everything fits for the most part. I had some issues with my knight last time around, who is still getting painted, but that was more a me issue than anything else. Okay, here is the male. That's some fun armor going on there. Again, we got some equipment on the backs. And I gotta say, I think once their capes are attached, they're going to be quite the impressive models. Got some bulk to them. I'm probably going to leave that unattached for the time being, but I don't know if that's going to interfere with having his sword attached, because it looks like it's going to need to. rest on his shoulder there. But on the other hand, after I say that, I just realized that the arm is attached to the shoulder. I don't think it will be that big of an issue. So here you can see all of the parts that are in the Ambitionism Survivor set. Capes, hands, bases, everything else is already attached. So I'm going to get these guy and gals cleaned up, and we'll see how they turn out. Grab a few other Kingdom Death models and see how everything looks. So sit tight. All right, the Ambitionism Survivors are all put together here. Let's start with the male survivor with that big honking sword. One of the things that I really like about both of these models is their armor is something we haven't seen before. And it's kind of interesting in that, you know, most of the armors from the various, you know, monsters that you can hunt at this point, ignore my ridiculous amount of glue that spilled out there. One of the interesting things is that, you know, these days, most models are all going to have kind of that look to a specific type of armor. I know, like, with one of the last Echoes of Death, that was really apparent. One of the things I always liked is that, you know, the specific, you know, like these individual survivors, you know, that weren't included in the game always had something more unique to them. And personally, I mean, that makes them stand out more. It makes them look visually interesting. So I'm all here for it. The other thing that's really cool about both of these models is they are some of the very few photo resin that I can think of so far that have some sort of scenic base included. I can't think of any others yet. The other thing is, I feel like the sculpts are a lot, I don't know, cleaner, sharper, perhaps, than the artwork. Not that the artwork's bad, per se, but, like, I don't know, the level of, I don't know, maybe I'm just, you know, Lockman Lamb's art is more intricate in that finer line, whereas this is probably, I'm going to say, digitally painted. Not that that's a bad thing, necessarily. I think it looks a lot better like this. You get a good look at them. But I don't know. To me, they're more defined in their look, if that makes sense. I don't have any Lockman Lamb cards laying around. I usually have all of my Kingdom Death postcards tucked away in a completion box. But I thought, you know, it'd be kind of cool, especially, I don't think like I said, none of the photo resin models yet have had any real substantial bases, and I think that really gives these two a serious heads up, leg up over a lot of the other models in terms of just size. The Gladiator from, oh gosh, which Echoes of Death was that? I don't remember now. 2 or 3. You can see here, not even close. I mean, I guess maybe the top of her helmet starts to get there. One of my favorites. Wow, okay. That's actually kind of funny. He's almost the same height as the male Ambitionism. Of course, he does have 1 foot pretty close to the ground. He's still a little bit taller, and our Death King's armor here does have the crest and the giant sword there to kind of compensate for things. Yeah, you can see here. Maybe that was not the best choice, but using a different Death King armor, you can see there's a little bit difference in size. Trying to find some of the heavy armors I've got. Screaming God armor. Definitely outclassed there in terms of just bulk and size. These are getting a bit long in the tooth. Still waiting for those plastics. Hopefully they're going to be kind of pumped up and updated. I'm really actually looking forward to seeing how those turn out. I gotta get my frog dog out. I haven't even opened it. What was her name? Astrid or something? A couple more recent ones. I should get the female one, but the problem with the female one is she's on such a high base there. Of course, these 3 ladies, Gunboard, the Ringtail Vixen, and who I think is Astrid, you know, all have very unique looks. And actually pretty varied paint jobs, if I do say so myself. Grabbing a few other models here just to get a good idea of the size. My absolute favorite to this day, the Echoes of Death Paladin. You've just got a nice, fully armored set of models, and if you want to go, you know, scantily clad and fully armored, the Anti-Paladin. I guess if we're going to get out armored Kingdom Death stuff, the classic Lantern. Oh jeez, it's so small in comparison. I keep kind of wondering if someday, I don't know why they would, but I just keep wondering if maybe we'll see some like remastered narrative sculpts for the original armor sets. I feel like, you know, everything in the Gambler's Chest moving forward, you know, with the much more dynamic sculpts of stuff like this. Yeah, I didn't do the best job on the face, but whatever. Kind of wonder if we'll see variants in that regard in the future with some of those sets. And of course, the classic. He looks so small in comparison to the Green Knight armor. But I'm looking forward to getting these painted. I know my backlog of Kingdom Death models is absolutely ridiculous, but it's like one of those that I really still want to try to put some effort and energy into. So hopefully we'll see these show up in a Monday video. If you're looking for some nice, big, impressive visual models that are going to stand out from the crowd, I mean, you know, especially if I don't knock her over and break her, but with your typical GW stuff, you can see they're just very imposing, very impressive, much, you know, more out of the ordinary. So, fun models in that regard. And with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.